What the fuck?
A wire to secure documents that they needed to take back to the National Archive. Why? Obama's got 30 million of these pages at his home in Chicago right now.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. So when you talked about that on the show yesterday, I actually looked it up, and I guess it is fairly common for most presidents to take home documents, and you can either have them digitized or you have to send them back at some point. Most of it, I heard, after doing some digging on this, was personally related to them, where it was a personal matter.
What typically happens is people will digitize them and use it for reference for their memoirs and shit like that.
Right.
Or it goes into their presidential library, one of the two, or both. But it's certainly not something that you send armed FBI agents unannounced into somebody's home to raid it and break into a safe to get.
Right.
Especially when the former president, the one right before him, still 5 years later has 30 million pages. So in addition to the fact that this is a completely retarded situation going on, the timing seems intentional, right? Like Merrick Garland clearly has an axe to grind because Trump shut his shit down and invited him, I guess, to be a fucking Supreme Court justice. And then, of course, you roll this into the January 6th committee, which is still a thing, apparently.
Okay.
Nothing has come out of this. Not one thing. Other than we found out what we already knew, which is Trump talks to people like an asshole. That's like the big revelation here. Right. Not that anybody committed any crimes necessarily. We learned that Trump is a dick, which is not news. And then we learned that DHS Secret Service people deleted all their text messages for some reason. Weird.
Very, very strange. By the way, we have actually breaking news on this, and I was wondering if this would happen. Merrick Garland actually made a statement to the press about 3 minutes ago, it says. The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause, he said. Garland said the DOJ filed motion to unseal Trump's search warrant and property receipt. I don't really know what that means. It says, just now, the Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida to unseal a search warrant and property receipt relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week. That search was a premises located in Florida belonging to the former president. And that's about all he said.
It's a bunch of word salad because he knows he fucked up, to be honest. But it's, you have to look at all these things in their totality. So there's the two impeachment attempts. There's the January 6th witch hunt nonsense that's going on. Now there's they're trying to come at him for his personal shit in New York and Florida. And in Georgia, the Fulton County District Attorney is ramping up an investigation into a menacing phone call that he made to election officials and like getting a grand jury together. Everybody's already heard the fucking phone call.
Yeah.
It's public knowledge. There's no trial to be had here.
Right.
But this is like it's a full court press from the left. And it's when you see a collusion between political parties and the Justice Department and then the attorney generals of states and then the fucking district attorney of a city, like this is fucking crazy. This is a clear, coordinated attack against Donald Trump for shit that everybody already knows about and nobody seems to really care about, right? Except for people who have been fucking amplified. Their voices have been amplified by the press. Nobody gives a shit about any of this.
No, not at all. The other part of this that I can't figure out is why. You won the last election, allegedly, by 6 million votes. What would you be worried about the second time around in 2024? Because a lot of people are speculating that this is all to get him not to run in 2024. What do you care if you've already beat him?
Because the guy who beat him has failed miserably. Right? Go find me a Biden supporter right now. Somebody James Klug has been doing this the last couple of weeks.
I've said this forever.
Just asking people, like, do you support Biden or what? And they're like, no.
It's like this secret. Everybody has this secret where they're like, I don't. Nobody's again, nobody besides Hollywood people have come out and been like, I voted for him and it's been rad. Things are going great and we love it. Haven't met one of those people yet, normal people outside of Hollywood. Hollywood people are different. They're rich enough. They don't fucking care. They don't care what happens to the goddamn country. Like, and that's the beauty of having money is you're rich enough to not care.
But the, there's also the conspiracy that somebody like DeSantis represents a long-term threat to the Democratic Party. So they're trying to do what they've done in multiple elections just this year so far. So if you remember in the Gavin Newsom recall, about $1.5 million went into that campaign from George Soros. That's weird. It's weird.
Yep.
Very weird. But forget about all that. Newsom spent some of his war chest promoting candidates who he knew couldn't win against Larry Elder. Right? Now, we've seen this in 2 additional Senate races so far in primaries this campaign season, where an entrenched Democratic candidate who didn't have any opposition spent campaign dollars, or the DNC spent campaign dollars, or the DCCC spent campaign dollars on fringe right-wing lunatic candidates, right? Because they know they can beat them in the fall.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game plan for them. They've been doing it for a while, so it could be that. It could be that they're trying to promote Trump ahead of DeSantis because while Trump might be able to rally certain people in the Republican Party, the Democrats think that he can't rally everybody, and they're trying to split the party.
I guess, but let's say one of these charges sticks, right? Then what? Then
What charges?
Whatever this grand
There hasn't been a single fucking charge yet.
Well,
It's just continuous investigations for the last 4 fucking years.
Oh,
Not
got
one
it, got it,
charge.
got it.
Not
Okay.
one charge has been. No indictments. Subpoenas, yeah.
Sure.
But no indictments, no charges, none of that bullshit. This is just a fucking 3-ring circus.
The other part about this, too, that I can't really wrap my mind around is Biden has not made a statement yet.
Well, the CGI software broke down, right? When's the last time Biden was seen publicly? Does anybody know?
There was an article
in the
about
Rose
this.
Garden like yesterday or 2 days ago in his aviators. I think it was maybe talking about the Inflation Reduction Act, but it was in the. I'll find the picture real quick.
Yeah, because the other part of this too was they left the White House press secretary to answer all these questions. She seemed flabbergasted. She had no. She was like, we learned about it. The president learned about it the same as everybody else did." And it was like, "No, the fuck, he did not."
If you're the president of the United States and you learn secondhand that your attorney general has okayed a fucking warrant on the last president, then you should be fucking impeached.
Yeah.
Because you're not there, right? You either don't have control of your Justice Department or you're too fucking stupid to run it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's also a statement by the FBI Director Wray here. He says there's been a lot of commentary about the FBI this week questioning our work and our motives. Much of it is from critics and pundits on the outside who do not know what we know and don't see what we see. What I know and what I see is an organization made up of men and women who are committed to doing their jobs professionally and by the book every day. This week is no exception.
Oh, I guess we'll just trust you then, Director Wray, you fucking cunt. Fuck you and fuck the FBI. Like, we don't trust any of these people anymore.
No.
The fuck out of here. Not that I ever did, but certainly not now. Like, if you're a member of the general public and you still trust the Department of Justice or our intelligence community or anybody in the White House, regardless of who's in charge, then you're a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm. The other part about this is why send, I know why. Biden's not going to say anything. Why send the Attorney General out there to speak about this rather than the President of the United States? And why not say what the charges are?
I want to hear Kamala, however you say her stupid name, do.
Yeah.
I want her to do all the press conferences.
Well, that might be coming up here in a couple of years.
Because it's like the FBI is an organization, federal, and then bureau, and then investigation. It does those things. Mm-hmm. Federally, it investigates bureaus. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm wearing a blue sweater. And then I can just do, like, if it's going to be stupid, let's make it completely stupid so I can do drugs and enjoy the fucking entertainment.
Sure.
That's all I really want.
Let's all fucking party. More breaking news here on this case in particular. Justice Department seeks to unseal the Trump raid search warrant. So what does that do if they unseal the warrant? Will it tell you exactly what they were looking for?
It'll tell you what predicate they used to justify the search warrant.
Okay, and what would typically something like that say on it?
Well, so for a forced search warrant like that, there's a couple of things you have to do. One, you have to meet the probable cause requirement. Like we have good evidence that something might be there that we would find. And then two, you have to show exhaustion, which means you've gone through other means to try to get that, and it wasn't possible. Which is interesting because a couple of months ago, the federal government did go to Trump's house. He met with them, turned over some documents. They told him to put a better lock on the door, and he did all that.
The National Archives
Yeah.
Service or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So this is like...
They took 15 boxes, I think, then. Yeah, they took 15 boxes back with them.
So it's already... If there's no showing exhaustion here, in my opinion. Like to get like a Title III wiretap, to do a FISA warrant or something like that, you have to show exhaustion. Like the other means of us getting this information didn't work out, and here's the proof. So that it'll unseal all that, and we can see basically what we saw in 2017 when the Russian collusion hoax bullshit came out, which is that the FISA warrants were doctored by the FBI.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah,
fuck these cunts.
He later goes on to say here, as far as Merrick Garland, let me address recent unfounded attacks on the professionalism of the FBI and the Justice Department agents and prosecutors. I'm making this statement because I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked.
You have no integrity.
None.
You fucking useless waste of fucking skin and bone. Jesus Christ, what an oxygen thief this guy is.
My God, man.
Imagine committing yourself to public service, not as a politician, but as a judge and a fucking attorney general and a fucking FBI agent, and then using your power, right, and your position to serve the master and not the public. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
All of these people should be launched into the fucking ocean.
I'm looking more into this because he just made this statement here a few moments ago. The warrant will include an affidavit detailing the justification for the search. Okay, so it's exactly what you said there. I wonder when that will come out. The other problem with all of this is most people, I think if you took a poll, what would you say? Probably half are distrusting of the government.
I would say 80%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say it is 80%, right?
Yeah.
Would you trust anything that comes out with this?
No. No. I mean, so SE Cup, you know who that is, right? Complete fucking dummy. Useless media fucking socialite retard that flips sides when it's convenient and shit like that. She's a useless human being. Works for CNN. And even she today did a story on how nobody trusts the government anymore.
Right.
On CNN's website. So if it's everybody on the right, which it is, and then it's most people, enough people on the left, right, that they're running stories on CNN about it, then you know that it's fucking high.
Yeah, because the other part too was, Washington Post ran an article and they received a lot of backlash and death threats for saying this search shouldn't have gone down. Andrew Yang came out and made a statement about it, said that this shouldn't have happened either, and so did Andrew Cuomo, which is super weird.
He doesn't want to get investigated. Come on. Who knows? Like,
he killed 15,000 grandmothers and grandfathers during the pandemic. So
some people might call that taking out the trash. I don't
Maybe.
know. Like sometimes you gotta scrub off some dead skin to let new skin grow, right?
if I were him, though, I wouldn't have said anything. Just let that blow over.
I'm definitely if I'm Andrew Cuomo, I don't say any words in public.
No.
I just enjoy the money I still have left and then go die quietly somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to work out for him.
Shit. Do you remember the guy we had on, the reporter from Newsmax?
No.
Maybe 2 months ago. You remember that show, Bob?
He wasn't from Newsmax.
Well, where was he
was
from?
from that middle of the road, like nonpartisan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you remember the name of it?
Of him? The thing?
The organization, because I believe, actually just type in Chris Cuomo. Chris, his brother, actually got a job there and is going to be the lead anchor for prime time.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding. I just read it. See who Chris Cuomo is working for now.
So he is, according to the New York Times, or New York Post, I should say, News Nation.
That's it, News Nation. Yeah. That was the guy we had on, right? Yeah, same guy.
Well, you can go ahead and cancel your subscription to News Nation, folks. Scraping the fucking bottom of the barrel over there. You got to be kidding me.
So we had this reporter on, and he talks about the honesty and integrity of it. We talked a ton about CNN on that show, too. And then all of a sudden, hey, who's your new hire to lead the network? Chris Cuomo. That sucks. I like that guy. I think he was pretty genuine, too.
Yeah, I'm starting a fucking detective agency, and I'm going to hire O.J. Simpson. Right off the top, because he knows.
He's still looking for the real killers,
Fuck
Dan.
out of here.
They're in L.A. somewhere. He's afraid to go back there because they're gonna kill him, too. Damn it. Don't we know that? Next up, the IRS is hiring armed accountants. I thought this story was fake. Speaking of fake news, I'd heard this throughout the week, and then I finally read it, and I was like, oh, wait, this is real. This is from reputable places.
It's really real, yeah.
Yeah. Even before Congress and President Joe Biden gave the final okay for the IRS to hire 87,000 more agents in an $80 billion package, the tax agency is revealing a priority job category that could get first dibs on the huge budget expansion. On its jobs page is a listing of vacancies for special agents to be placed around the country to root out financial fraud. Being the diligent researcher that we are over here at Tetherball Academy Media, was wondering what was in common with the other, 1,811 positions.
1811 position.
Yeah, 1811. It's a criminal investigator.
Yeah, so this is the special agent position. So in the military, you have an MOS. In government service, it's similar. There's two versions of this. There's an 1803, or 1802 maybe, that's an investigative person that doesn't carry a gun. And there's an 1811, which is called a covered position, and they carry a gun.
So all the 1811 positions, right, carry guns.
Correct. Yeah. They all go to FLETC and train in the same spot. It doesn't matter if they're Department of Justice, DHS, or whatever. They all go to the same spot. So my curiosity was, Bob, if you have the notes up, pull up that link, the USA Jobs link there, because I want to put it on screen.
Oh, is it on? Just out in the public?
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So my question was, and among the job requirements on this IRS job posting is, quote, carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary, period. Now,
for the IRS?
Yes. And my curiosity led me down this rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, that sounds bad, but is this something that shows up in every job posting for an 1811? They just copied and pasted it, right? Mm-hmm. That was my first inclination. It turns out no. The FBI special agents, they're HSI, like Homeland Security Investigation, which is the investigative wing of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, DEA, none of them have this phrase in their fucking job postings. Not one.
Yeah.
Not one that I could find. If you want to do your own research on that and look around the interwebs, you can do that. But right here, Bob, if you want to put that up and go down to job duties, you can read them right there. Blow that up a little bit.
Read aloud, Bob. Read aloud.
You can expect continued specialized training once on board and opportunities to work on some of the Bureau's most complex cases. The scope and scale of our investigations provide unique challenges, unlike anything you could work on in the private sector. Your ultimate mission to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Being a special agent can be a lifelong career of uncommon days and amazing experiences. Valued skills that can help you succeed at the FBI. An ability to think on your feet and be a team player, a high level of physical fitness to be effectively respond to life-threatening situations on the job, exceptional problem-solving and analytical skills, be detail-oriented, yet able to focus, keep a strategic focus, ability to objectively evaluate information and make sound judgments. Honesty and integrity must be the foundation of who you are. The drive and commitment to make a difference in the communities you serve.
So I want to go back up to the valued skills that help you succeed at the FBI. So the IRS job posting once again says, carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. And on the FBI job posting that we're just now reading, a high level of physical fitness necessary to effectively respond to life-threatening situations on the job. two ways of saying the same thing.
Yep.
I guess. But one is suggesting it's trying to prepare the applicant to kill Americans if they don't pay their fucking tax bill. Do you understand the difference there?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
There are many others like this. You can fucking go search usajobs.gov and find all these 1811 positions and see how they phrase these things or if they even include that. And none of them that I found did. I looked at about 25 last night just out of curiosity.
Okay.
Not one of them fucking says this shit.
Now, what do you reckon, Dan, that they would need a gun for?
To compel compliance through threat of physical violence. That's why.
Okay.
But I've got some news for you, buddy. I'm a lot better at it than you are.
Well, they're hoping the rest of Americans aren't. I think that's the hopes and dreams there. But that is unbelievably odd to have that as part of your job description when this bill just passed, what, Sunday, I think?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And then they immediately get the application out, and you need to be able to use a firearm. Huh. That's fun. But they want to take everybody else's guns. All right.
Here's what I just to give our buddy Jack Carr a quick plug here, because The Terminal List is an amazing series on Amazon Prime.
Crushing right now.
And not only that, but a new book just came out, In the Blood. Terrific book.
Fantastic
Send
book.
us all copies of that. Here's a quote from the show. Somebody asked Chris Pratt's character, right, about how he's going to react to fucking, when he runs into government officials who might be involved in some of this shit. He says it's a mistake to push a man to violence when violence is what he's dedicated his life to perfecting.
Yeah.
That's what you should have put on that job application, IRS, because there's thousands of us. And if you think that we're just going to sit around and let you come to our homes with guns and compel us to give you our money because you need to go fund wars in Ukraine, you're sadly fucking mistaken.
And again, the odd thing is, we chatted briefly about this yesterday. These guys are mostly unseen. They sit in an office somewhere. Now, obviously, they're going to open up offices now all over the country, but they don't really come to your house.
Typically, they don't, but here's the new situation. It's cryptocurrency, right? So what I would recommend all of you do is take all of your money out of the bank, put it into a stable coin. A stable coin is set to maintain the exact same value as the US dollar. Take it offline, put it onto a fucking hard drive, put it in a safe, and then stand in front of it with a gun. Because these cowards want to sit in their fucking cubicle and steal my shit digitally. Come do it like a fucking man, and then we'll see who wins.
Yeah. But do you think they will? I think they'll probably hit you digitally first before you
Sure,
can
yeah,
get
no,
to
that's
it. Yeah.
certainly, well, I mean, you can do it right now.
Yeah.
They don't have the assets to deal with that right now.
Okay. But does 87,000 do it is the question? Because that's a lot of, we've been getting a lot of that DM-wise. Would 87,000 be more effective in that?
Well, this is interesting math. So if you remember correctly on the campaign trail and then afterwards, Biden said that nobody that makes under $400,000 a year would be affected by any of his tax shit. Well, we know that's not true, right? But let's say it is true, just for the sake of argument. There's 2.8 million people in America who make $400,000 a year or more, and not including the 40-some thousand IRS agents that already exist. You add these, let's just say only with the new 87,000, that means they only have to audit 32 people each per year to audit everybody.
In the United States?
Yes.
What was that number?
32 people a year.
I would say that I looked this up last night because I was actually interested in it. There are 1.4 million households with a net worth of 10 million or more.
There's 2.8
In the
million
US.
people who make $400,000 or more. It's not about net worth. It's about how much your annual income is.
Because your net worth, like, let's face it, if you live in Texas, most houses are $1 million down here at this point. So you could factor that in, but I think it's what he's talking about is actual income, income made versus your net worth. Because net worth takes into account everything that you got across the board.
Let's, so if you include the IRS agents that already exist, that means just with the amount of people they're trying to bring on now, everybody that makes over $400,000 a year will get audited every single year.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
And that's what I assumed.
Right.
But I think 32 is low. just based on how these things shake out and having gone through an audit, it stretches over months. And I'm like, what's this guy doing with the rest of his time? He could probably take on more people, which is probably what they're going to do.
Sure, they could. Well, I mean, so here's one thing. I believe it was the Washington Post that published this as well. People that make under $50,000 a year are 5 times more likely to get audited than people that make over $1 million a year.
You think this is on purpose from Bezos, by the way?
From Bezos?
Yeah.
I don't think Bezos has anything to do with it.
Well, they bought the Washington Post, right? And the last week, there have been some Republican articles in there. And everybody's like, what the fuck, man? Is Washington Post going right? I was like, well, maybe they're fucking with Bezos' money at this point. He's fed up with it finally. Because aren't they putting a tax on, what is it, a 15% minimum out of all these corporations and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to affect him as well. Mm-hmm. Typically, those guys were paying 0.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not opposed to corporations paying taxes.
I mean, either.
Especially when they benefit the most from the infrastructure that those taxes pay for, provided the taxes actually pay for infrastructure and not,
Correct.
Insider trading and wars that I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah. And I think that's the issue with all of this is where this money is going. Is we're still giving money to Ukraine again.
Well, the best predictor of the future is the past, right? Where's the money gone so far?
Wars.
Not to us.
No.
It's not building fucking new roads, motherfucker.
Sure
we are in a state of disrepair as a country because our infrastructure is so fucked up. A bridge just collapsed like 2 weeks ago, not too far away from here. And 65% of the bridges in America are in some state of disrepair.
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think about it when you're driving over the bridge, I guess. 70% of the money that has been allocated for Ukraine so far hasn't left the continental United States.
Great.
So, ching, ching, they just see dollar signs. Every time you're arguing about fucking genders and fucking Trump and all this other bullshit, all these cunt politicians in the military-industrial complex and lobbyists just see dollar signs in your eyes because you're fucking stupid.
Well, you're also paying attention to all of this shit versus what's going on behind the scenes, which is just trying to suck more money out of you.
Yeah, it's just magician's patter. They want to fucking get you mad at what is in front of you so they can sneak up behind you and take your money out of your fucking wallet.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a good job of it this week. And